Um, yeah, just obviously all of us in the Sweet 16 are happy to be here. You know, not just in this region, but all across the board. And you know, we're having a great time as a team, and you know, practice is a lot of fun and working hard at the same time. So you know, every day that we get to keep competing, we're cherishing those moments, and you know, look forward to a great match with Missouri tomorrow.
Coach, some of your team or your players have played in this building last year. How much of an advantage is that, especially like with the quick turnaround of things?
Maybe a little bit, you know, just get a little bit more familiar with the depth perception and the feel of it. You know, I think that, you know, maybe a point or two, but, you know, I don't think it's a, you know, macro advantage. But, you know, all of us are in the same boat and same situation and same feel and same opportunities. So, you know, it's either way, it's just, you know, good to be here.
This will be your third match against Missouri this season. I mean, what are some of the things you've noticed from them recently in their play, and how do you think you're going to be able to match up with them tomorrow? Obviously, you have some familiarity with them.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we obviously know each other very well. Missouri continues to get better, you know, as the season goes on. You know, same with us. I think both teams have kind of progressed that way, and you know, from the beginning of the year to this point, they're balanced like we are. They serve tough like we do. They defend well, so there's really not a whole lot of weaknesses with Missouri, and you know, they're a good team, well coached, good players. So,
Ladies, what did you take away from those first two games that you're able to apply as you continue to try and chase advancing?
I think, like Craig said, now we know each other very well from playing them twice, but both teams continue to get better. There's things that we need to adjust from what we did last time and things that we know they're probably going to adjust to as well. So you got to come into the third game against them with just clean slate, fresh mindset. Like, what happened before doesn't matter. Now it's tournament time and anything can happen. So we're just going to go in focusing on like playing our game and staying the course, you know, not getting too excited, but making sure that we're urgent and we want to go in firing.
Coach, beyond obvious athletic ability, what are you looking for when you recruit your team?
oh, wow, that's a good question. I wasn't prepared for that one. I mean, I think that it's important as coaches that you find the right players, you know, not just the best players. And sure, there's a base level of talent you have to compete for championships. But it's more important to have the right players that understand, you know, what our program, our family's about. And, you know, all of us want to look forward every day to get up and go work with the people we're around. So, you know, I think it's most important, the right players and the right fit, and fill your needs, not just accumulate talent.
Do you recruit across the nation?
Yeah, and we've probably, I mean, I don't know how many states we've recruited from, but it's a lot. You know, UK is a national brand, and you know, certainly we don't spend the majority of our time in California, but you know, spend a majority of our time in, you know, the region where we are in the Midwest, and you know, Brooklyn's from Kansas, Emma's from Ohio, and you know, from Texas, and you know, a little bit of everything.
Brooklyn, you guys played not only a lot of tournament teams in the regular season, but a good amount of the Sweet 16 teams you guys have played against. How does that experience help you guys as you get into these later rounds?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's good knowing some of the teams are playing, but it's also a disadvantage because they know you as well. So I think you have pros and cons both ways, but I think it's just good, like I said, knowing them, but also every team's gotten better since the last time you played them, like everyone's been talking about. So I think just playing with a clean slate, like Emma said, and just coming in with the mentality that that could be your last game, and so you can't really overlook anyone. And I mean, we're at the point in the year where, I mean, there's no tomorrow, so you just gotta play everything you got and play with no regrets.
Since you guys lost to Texas, you guys are on a 13-game winning streak. What like clicked since then to let you guys go on this long winning streak?
Except for players or
anyone?
Oh. Let's go senior.
Okay. I think there's just, you know, we came in this year having a lot of different like new pieces to our lineup and our team, and we lost a lot of players, but we added a lot of new players. So I think there's just things that we knew were going to take some time, like forming those connections and being able to build that team chemistry on the court. So I don't know if it necessarily like anything clicked, but I feel like we just like everything was finally coming together a little bit with what we were working on. We've been working hard on different like offensive plans, defensive plans the whole year, and I feel like we finally just kind of started to get it, you know? So I think everything was just coming together a little bit, but it was something we knew was going to take some time, and now here we are. We're building on it every day and getting better every day. Yeah, that's all I got.
I think to add to that with this group, I think it's important as you progress through a season and tournament time that you don't put all your eggs in one basket, meaning all eggs in the offensive basket, all eggs in the defensive basket or serving basket, that you have a few different baskets to pull from if something isn't working. And so there, you always can't expect everything to be perfect in matches. So can you rely on some other things to pull you through until something comes back around? And, you know, I think there's a balance of the way we can attack teams. So super important because we're all good teams at this point in time, and you can't expect to be perfect in all phases.
What makes Vernon and LF two really tough pin hitters to prepare for?
What makes them tough?
Yeah, what makes them tough?
Physically talented, you know, great vision, great understanding of what shot to hit at the right time. You know, setter does a nice job of getting them, you know, looks important, but they also know they're going to have looks where they have four hands in their face, and you know, they've proven they can kill the ball, you know, even in those, you know, tough, uncomfortable situations. So you can't just assume that they're going to hit one way and that's what you defend. They can hit a lot of different directions, so everyone needs to be ready to defend them.
I mean, you're a senior, right? Do you think about, I mean, in 2 weeks, no matter how you do here or next week, your career is going to be over. Do you think about that this might be the last few times I play? I don't know what your future plans are, but this maybe the last few times I play competitive volleyball.
Yeah, I definitely think about it. I mean, this 4 years has been amazing, and it's sad to think that it's almost over. But then it just goes with the mentality that Brooklyn was saying. We have to play every day like it could be our last match, and for me, that would mean my like last collegiate match. So you just want to go out every day with no regrets, playing as hard as you can, and I think that definitely ties into that.
What makes the SEC one of, if not the best volleyball conference in the country? You have 5 teams in Sweet 16, so obviously there's something to prove there as well.
That the SEC cares and that matters, that we're good in all sports, and you know, the administrations, athletic departments have invested in our sport and, you know, making a difference. There's more and more teams playing great teams across the country. There's more and more teams that are investing in facilities and locker rooms and the way we charter and travel, and you know, it's you know, the Southeast is a great place to live and go to school, and a lot of tradition, you know, I think so. You know, and the sport across the board has got, you know, and not only that, but the sport in the Southeast part of the country has grown significantly. A5 is a volleyball club in Atlanta that just started when I got to Kentucky. Now it's one of the biggest, most successful clubs in America. And so I think the footprint of the SEC has made our conference continue to get better and better. And so,
Coach, what's been the trigger for that increased interest in volleyball across the country?
The number of people playing, you know, first of all, a number of people that have played in the past and are coaching currently that give back to the sport. But I think also something that we've seen around our part of the country is that matches on television help educate the people that don't know volleyball, so they feel more comfortable to come and watch. And I think volleyball is a complicated sport, so if you're a novice, you know, sports fan, you don't really understand what's happening. So the more it's on TV and the more it's exposed, then people start to want to be part of it. I mean, even in the media, it's kind of hard to understand what's happening on the court. So the more media that cover it, they start to get more familiar with it, then they know, you know, how to explain the sport to other people. And I think the TV and the coverage has been significant growth too.
Ladies, I know anyone can beat anyone at this point, but was there a little bit of relief when SMU got knocked out so early, knowing that they have knocked out some, you know, big power dogs in Pitt and Nebraska?
I mean, I think this year just shows how unpredictable things can get. I mean, so many teams have beaten teams that you thought were gonna, like, or were expected to win. So I think we weren't really expecting anybody. We knew it was gonna be a tough game, and playing either team would have been tough. So I think just seeing that was just, we're up for the challenge. And I mean, yeah, we played Missouri a lot too, but we also played SMU earlier in the year. So I think either way, we were just going in with I mean, we weren't gonna overlook anybody, and it's just gonna be a tough game regardless.
Coach, how do you think Brooklyn has stepped up her game recently, especially coming into the Sweet 16? How do you think she's improved upon her game this season throughout?
Yeah, I mean, Brooklyn's a very hard worker and never satisfied with where she is as a player. And, so one day she might be working on her serve, next day she might be working on her defense, next day she might be talking to, Meredith about blocking, next day she might be talking to Ben about shot variation. So there's never a day goes by that, she doesn't want to improve. And so she just continues to try and raise the bar for herself. And Emma's been the same way since a freshman. She's always wanted to improve, always wanted to get better, always wanted to be in the gym and doing stuff. So we're just lucky to be around people that love the game, and these two are certainly no exception to that.